Okay, here we go. You want your medallion back? I got your medallion. You for my medallion? Yes, it's right here. Let me actually look at it first. A silver medallion with a rooster engraved on the side. Ah, we don't get a close-up view of it? Oh well. It's still a cool medallion. My medallion, you found it? Oh, and he's going to travel around the fence to talk to me. Wow! Thank you, Officer Dye. Oh, and it really is a small child. A promise is a... No, a promise is a promise. Now, Xiao Bao, can you tell me what Liu Zelen wanted from you? Well, after he took my medallion, he told me I had to keep watch on the neighborhood for him, or else he wouldn't return it. He said there are criminals everywhere and I had to spy on them, but I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone about it. Did he tell you why you had to do that? He said he wanted me to help him catch people doing bad things. He said this area was known for its gangsters and ruffians, and that he needed someone like me to keep an eye on them. He kind of see me every week, asking me all I saw or heard, but every time he refused to give me back my medallion. I see. He was using you as an informant. Did he ask you to spy on Zhu Len Fei? No, he never asked me to do that. I did that on my own. On your own? Fei Fei was a friend. I was worried about her. How well did you know her? We became friends not long after she moved here. She was kind to me. She used to buy steamed buns from the market, the fresh kind, you know? She'd share some with me all the time. At first I said I couldn't accept them because I didn't have any money, but she said it was a gift. She even liked my little statuettes. It's a hobby of mine. I carved them out of small pieces of wood. She was the only one who ever liked them. But Fei Fei was all alone, and she had to take care of her father, so I tried to help. How'd you help? I came over all the time to watch over the house. I wanted to protect her, make sure she was safe. So you were here on the night she was killed? I'm useless. I wanted to guard her from danger. Now she's dead. It's not too late to help your friend. If you witnessed something, now's the time to speak up. About the night of the murder. Tell me what you saw on the night of the murder. I was coming over to visit Fei Fei. I wanted to show her my new wooden statuette. But when I arrived, I saw someone walking out of the house. I was hiding there by the fence like I always do, but it was too dark. I couldn't see who it was. As he passed by, I thought of the evil spirit from my nightmares. I was too afraid to do anything. I just ran away. It's only later I found out Fei Fei was murdered. He was right there. The killer was right there, and I did nothing. I should have done something. Can you describe the stranger? Who was this person? He was very dark. I couldn't see his face, but he was tall and moved very fast, almost like he was gliding. Did you see what he was wearing? He's black all over, like some kind of shadow. He didn't even seem to have any legs. Was it Zhu Dan? Mr. Zhu? No, sir. The person I saw was tall and fast. Mr. Zhu could barely walk without his stick. It couldn't have been him. Besides, Mr. Zhu loved Fei Fei. He'd been so happy since her return. He would never hurt her. Don't blame yourself for what happened to Xiao Bao. Oh, don't blame yourself for what happened, Xiao Bao. Take solace in the fact that your testimony will help free Zhu Dan. Were you spying on me earlier? I wasn't spying you, sir. I was just coming here every day since Fei Fei died. I guess I just wanted to say goodbye. When Liu Zelen came here to investigate the crime scene, did you tell him what you saw? No, sir. I tried to speak to him, but he kept telling me to leave. He said there were too many people around. I didn't know who else to talk to, so I waited for him to come back, but he never did. You've done well, Xiao Bao. Thank you. Black from head to toe, gliding across the darkness, the killer could have been wearing a long black cloak. Although the evidence doesn't point towards a new suspect, we can at least prove that Zhu Dan is innocent. I should speak to the Empress. Oh, we're going to speak to the entrance to reenact the crime, but this note... On second thought, that probably won't work. Okay, so I'm not going to use the note. Well, okay, we've still got some questions. But we have finished... Oh, good, I can't go anywhere else. Just the Imperial Palace. So, I found a witness. That's very good. Finding a witness, a new witness, who is able to clear Zhu Dan. You've an expression of relief on your face, Magistrate. I expect you bring good news. Yes, Your Majesty, my investigation has indeed shed new light on the matter of Zhu Len Fei's death. In that case, tell your tale. I do not wish to be kept in suspense for another moment. Case reenactment. Dun, 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 dun. This is really cool stuff. Whoever killed Zhu Linfei did so with ruthless premeditation. He stalked his prey with patience and purpose. He knew their routines, their habits, he knew their weaknesses. He was aware of Zhudan's customary visits to the waterfront for late afternoon tea. He familiarized himself with Zhu Linfei's schedule and knew when she would return from the temple she often visited. He obtained this knowledge by spying on them. I assumed he was spying on them. For days, maybe even weeks, the killer followed and observed the zoos. At night, he stood by this very window. Silent and still, he demonstrated an obsessive dedication. In this state, darkness and rain were his allies. Zhudan could not have killed Zhu Linfei because earlier that evening his walking stick was stolen by a man who knew his and his daughter's every move. Once he had left Zhudan stranded, the killer made his way here to await Zhu Linfei's arrival, but upon entering the house and seeing the cloaked stranger, the young woman did not flee. Astonishingly, she stood where he asked and did as he ordered. The killer accomplished this by breaking the walking stick. Yeah, so that's a little sound effect. I think that sound effect indicates you had the right answer. But earlier, I didn't get a cool sound effect by saying he was spying on them, so maybe I was wrong? I don't know. By now, the killer knew the zoos intimately. By breaking the walking stick, he was sending a chilling message. Unseen and unheard, he could get to them anytime he wanted. Zhu Linfei chose not to fight and risk her father's safety. If it was her the killer wanted, she was willing to sacrifice herself for a chance to save her father. Zhu Linfei understood the threat, and she willingly sacrificed herself for a chance to save her father. Isn't that exactly what you just said? I guess maybe that line is different if you had selected a different option rather than breaking the walking stick. The killing of Zhu Linfei was a calculated move, but I fear it's only the first of many. I believe our killer is only at the beginning of his grand vision. It wasn't enough for him to taunt us by leaving a rose or even by taking his victim's heart. He wanted us to know precisely that his journey of destruction had just begun. The note he left behind was designed to be a warning. Slaves, heart, fear. In his note, he speaks of a wolf on the prowl, slaves losing their hearts. In his mind, for reasons we have yet to understand, Zhu Linfei was one of these slaves. He's warning us that more victims are to come. That is grim. We have a serial killer. That's definitely grim. Afterwards. If what you say is true, Zhu Linfei remained strong and selfless until the very end. How many of us would have the courage for such self-sacrifice? On the other hand, it seems we're facing a menace beyond what I had imagined. I'm afraid so, Your Majesty. This predator will not cease until his planets come to fruition, or until we stop him. I intend to... Your Majesty! Your Majesty, I have news from a night watchman in the central quarter. A woman. Another woman was murdered in her own home just 1 hour ago. So it's true. A predator is indeed among us. What else have you learned? Not much at the moment. Only that she was the newly wedded wife of Lam Haifeng, the late General Lam's son? One and the same, Your Majesty. General Lam would have been a strong supporter of your regime had he not succumbed to pneumonia last winter. His only son, Lam Haifeng, was also a gifted army captain who still commands the loyalty of his father's troops. Yes, I recall hearing of his abrupt wedding last month. He retired from his official post and vowed to live the life of a civilian. And now his wife has been murdered? There's more, Your Majesty. According to my sources, the treasonous General Zhang has recently courted Lam Haifeng's allegiance. Zhang is no doubt attempting to strengthen his rebellious coalition. Could it be that Zhang is trying to terrorize the young captain into obedience? That thought has crossed my mind. If it's true, Zhang is even more despicable than I gave him credit for. Killing innocents is a line he will regret crossing. If I may interject, Your Majesty, I think we should proceed carefully and avoid jumping to conclusions. If we are wrong about General Zhang's involvement and accuse him openly, that could give your opposition an excuse to unite and start a civil war. Allow me to investigate the matter. If a thread is to be found that connects the killing of these two women to a plot against you, then I will find it. On the other hand, if this killer is but a single deranged man, we must not lose sight of his trail by chasing conspiracy theories. You're right, Magistrate Dai. We need evidence. We need to remember the stakes before we place our bets. You will go to the Lam residence, investigate what's happened to Lam Haifeng's wife, and report back with whatever ties you find between her, Zhu Linfei, and General Zhang. If Zhang is indeed involved in any of this, he will pay dearly for his brazen treachery. Yes, Your Majesty. Yes, Your Majesty. Okay, we've got another murder to investigate. We do not have good times here.